Hi Libra, and welcome to June. So let's start with what the stars are saying for you this month. In June, guys, you'll be seeing richer experiences and you'll be looking for more mental stimulation. So you'll be also enjoying immersing yourself in very challenging, very motivating projects. So it might be kind of like energizing your daily routines or even your health programs. Especially if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, you will be really paying attention to not only what you eat, but also how active you are. Mars is in your solar 6th house until the 27th, and this is kind of like what is motivating you, and this is what is telling you, hey, you need to take care of business. You are challenging yourself to do better. If you have difficulties with workload or excessive demands, now you can be acknowledged, right? So you need to avoid overstrain, and you need to kind of like enjoy yourself as you get your life back into shape. Your ruler, Venus, right, which is shown in the Emperor's card, is in retrograde motion until the 25th. So you're gaining a new perspective, and you might be redefining some of your beliefs, some of your ideas, some of your goals. You might also see clearly which approaches or which expectations that you had in the past have sent you to the wrong path, right? You kind of like will see that you'll be very critical of yourself as well. I really have to say this, right? It is really good time for you to set up new intentions, and particularly related to health, as I told you, vitality and beliefs, but also about love, and it's also about ultimate honesty. If you did something in the past that was something to quote unquote save your back, and you don't correct it this month, or if something has been done to you that somebody snuck on you, something that they got away with, this is going to be a turning point. You are ruled with this card, justice. And justice say you can get away with something for a while, but not forever. So it's very, very important that things need to be straightened out. Confessions have to be made this particular month. It's going to be also a sense of emotional renewal and a fresh start of a new beginning. This is kind of going to be based on these revelations, and based on I need to set things right? And this is going to be really going on from the June the 3rd going forward, right? We also have lunar eclipse on the 5th, and that's also going to kind of like lead to revelations. It's going to be very powerful lunar eclipse. So try not to be too hasty with movements and communications. Try not to double down, because doubling down is quadrupling down on you in the future. So this is your opportunity to clean the slate, or somebody to clean their slate. Very, very important, right? So under this full moon on the 5th, it's meant to push you forward, even if at first kind of slows you down. So you need to watch out for processing too much information, or kind of like sensory overload, beep, beep, beep kind of a thing. You need to be very discriminating about what you want to take in, what you want to deal with, versus what can go to the back burner. You might also experience some kind of like restlessness, which can result in several things. It can be euphoria, it can be anxiety. It's going to be simply like a need for you to break the routine. So you will kind of like be taking time to consider different ways to kind of like use your imagination and creativity and apply to your everyday life. You are not being stuck in this pandemic box. You're saying, no way, Jose, I'm getting out of here. So Mercury turns retrograde on the 18th. That's kind of like pointing to the need to rethink goals. For you, this keeps stacking up, right? You may need to backtrack over work that you thought was complete. Something is going to pop up. Maybe tax department might call you. Something is going to be questioned, but eventually it's going to work to your advantage, as you're going to be kind of prepared. It's almost like you might also have this ticking thing in the back saying, I don't know if I did this properly, but let me kind of get it ready. Even though you might think I'm just wasting my time, you will still do it, and you will see this is going to really pay back, and it's going to pay back with something completely new opening for you. So despite all the shifts and retrogrades and eclipses that are kind of like slowing things down in June, right? Certain plans can be coming together really well, and particularly those that are, I don't know, involving work from home, or, you know, like, I mean, planning certain things with somebody who is very special. You're going to be more determined than usual to kind of make things happen. You're going to have your heart engaged, and honestly, this is going to be a time, given that there is like some candidness toward yourself and the others applied, that there is like the cleaning the slate kind of a thing. You can move mountains right now, right? So the sun is going to make it to the top of your solar chart on the 20th, and the next day on the 21st, a solar eclipse occurs. So happy summer, happy winter, depending on which hemisphere you are. And this is going to be a good time for approaching your career and business plans and goals. And you're going to go to kind of look into general life direction in a brand new way. Can be a really pleasant feeling, kind of like being reinvigorated, and especially when it comes to, this is what I want out of my life. You're going to feel like a 20-year-old, that like you have the whole freaking life ahead of you, that all the dreams, that you don't have to settle down, you don't have to do this. You're going to just look at yourself and you say, c'est la vie, what it is, I need to move, this is my moving forward kind of like thing, right? Some of you will be making career changes, and for others is going to be significant shift in your reputation and how you're being seen. So that's why I'm saying this prepping work and what you do and what you say, and that you clean the slate, is going to be very important. You don't do it, you're going to guarantee yourself a whole bunch of tower moments. Mars is also going to enter your solar 7th house on the 27th, and it's going to be there for really extended stay, which is good. 7th house is the house of relationships. This is going to make it really lovely, but it also, because it's Mars, it likes conflict, it likes drama, right? On the other hand, it's also going to create this excitement and passion and some kind of like activity. Which kind of like brings us to astrological review, almost like to the end. Only in the last few days of the month, you might experience a very strong desire to kind of like put things in order and make sense of things. And you might become really absorbed in what you're doing, because you'll be really determined to make improvements. And those improvements are doing like this home, family, and personal life. So how is this going to manifest for you? I think you'll be doing lots of purging and lots of releasing. It's going to be emotional renewal and starting fresh. You might even experience feeling that you have some flu, you have something, but you're going to be choked up, because all of that stuff has to come out. Very important, right? It's going to also be an excellent time to pour more focused energy in the home. So the spotlight for you this month will be on security. So you will go to greater lengths to achieve it. As I said, you need to set foundation straight. So let's see what tarot is coming up. So there it goes, this Nine of Sky. It is anticipation of something. Something is in a way for your success. Something is in a way. I mean, you have the King of Pentacles here hiding, and let me see which one is the first major. It's the Chariot. So yeah, just as I said, something in the way of your goals, and your goals can be financial, establishing yourself, moving in a new direction, right? And not losing a sight of the goal that you really want to go to. But Nine of Sky is like that, being upset, having anxiety. I call it the wash machine brain. You keep going and going and going, and things are not necessarily really working out. It almost like this card sometimes say that you're scaring yourself, but this is the card about anticipating that something can go wrong, and they do go wrong because we anticipate. You see, kind of like it's a catch-22. See what I did there? It's kind of like we are mirroring. Our inner life is creating our outer life. But this is also about perceived threats that are coming to your life, and these perceived threats could be something about your finances or establishment or reputation. So what else do we have? We have the Mr. Emperor. Lovely. We are in the year number 4. This is about security. This is about control. This is about establishment. This is about what is really needing to have. The Emperor is taking control of anything, but it's more or less unemotional. As I said, it's Venus retrograde, so it's really good that something is happening here. Somebody is saying, okay, I am going to jump in. Interestingly, we are 2 4s. It's really talking about security. It's really talking about control. It's really talking about you running the show. But it's going to be maybe also somebody else that is running the show, because this is Aries and it represents the opposite of your sign. So again, goes back to, because remember what your sign is? It's the scale, right? It's a balancing it. So now this is showing the end of it. You don't want to see something. There's like something that is done. It just, that message keeps coming to me really strongly, guys. Something needs to be looked upon and put out. Let me see what else. This is really intriguing. So this is a karma card. It's a good kitty. So again, this card goes both ways. Generally, it's better when you get it up, because it means mostly positive things will happen. But it's not only one thing, but also like you get quote-unquote punished for all the things that you didn't do right, and you get rewarded for things that you did right. You can go in forceful direction to do both at the same time. But this is again telling you that things will happen. You will be questioned. There will be things that are not going to sit well. Things almost like depend on you, and that being looked upon. You're karmically being looked upon. It's almost like if somebody tells you your happiness depends on you. Are you going to be candid? Because they say if you don't face it, you cannot change it. There's like something in a way. It's something that you don't want to see, something that you don't want to watch. It. You see the wind is blowing that way. No, I don't want to see you. That's some kind of control coming over you. This also can be government. This also can be boss. It can be person of authority. It can be your father, very authoritarian father of some sort. So 8 of Earth, this is talking about some kind of details. It is talking about training. It's talking about new skills, something that you're really proud about. That's what I said. You're motivated to go in a new direction. This also could mean that you're setting new business, but it's telling you at the same time you need to do that, or meeting a new partner, somebody who is very much unlike you, I would say. So you might be, because we are going through Venus retrograde and you're ruled with Venus, you're literally, not only you, but nobody has the tools to know the right from wrong, because it's almost like having wool over your head and you have to decide, and everybody looks freaking amazing. You're hearing this sweet voice and sweet nothings, and then everything falls apart, kind of a thing, right? You have another 4. So look at it, that feeling of security. You want to be nourished, you want to be protected. But this is it. This might be you. Are you going to be very stubborn and say, nope, I have it right, I have everything. Nope, I didn't do anything wrong, I'm absolutely perfect. No, not me. But look at that. All the toys are being stored away, not engaging with the world. So what's the point? They're just there for decoration instead of being something that we can deal with. So it's really important that you realize that you really need to engage and re-engage with somebody else, because there is this motive. You want to pull to yourself. You really don't want to do that thing, or whatever it is for you to move forward. It is something, and you're a very smart sign, I have to tell you. You think you can wiggle out. You think you'll be able to get out. You're not going to. That's why the Emperor shows. However, when it comes to relationships, you are going to feel glorious. There is like some romance happening. There is like some kind of soulmate feeling. Maybe it's going to be that this is combination with some kind of soulmate, where somebody might be a little bit authoritarian in that relationship, which might not bother you at the time, at this moment, in this month. But I feel it might bother you later. That's why it's very important that you have really focused energy, that you really release things in order for you to kind of deserve this happiness, because one giveth, one taketh, kind of a thing, right? So your house, you see, this is it. We kept getting this, 8 is just a double decker of 4. So just like think about this London bus. You see this like one on the bottom, very solid, very straight, but this is like a top one. It's residing upon something. Both 8s are always talking about strength, and sometimes strength is doing things that is even against your own grain. When you actually speak about speak against yourself, rather to say, when you, whether to somebody else or to yourself. It's kind of that introspection most people don't have. See, this kitty here is feeling stuck. This kitty is feeling, oh my freaking God, I don't know how to get out of here. Look at these birds. These bats are going to get me. I have to get out. I have to get out. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. The panic sets in. When the panic sets in, you get scratched. You get trapped. This is also the card of prisons. This is also the card of entrapment. This is also the card of you being stuck. And sometimes people get stuck with lies. This could be you or with somebody else. You know, people kept perpetuating the same thing and thinking it's going to stick. But sooner or later, and if you ever watch Cold Files, you know, like that some little detail can just go in a completely new direction. So the key over here is that you really need to see the reality as it is. That you need to kind of like go slowly, because the only way out of this situation is to slowly wiggle yourself out and slowly kind of like understand why you found yourself in this situation, right? Your environment is Sky Tom. It's going to be somebody in your life who will want to have some kind of like information. You might feel that you're a little birdie, that they want to get you, that they want to do something to you, but that would mean that you're defensive for one reason or another. So you need to kind of like figure out, because this is clearly not you, otherwise I would assume this is you. This is in your environment segment over here. This Sky Tom is really talking about goals. Again, we are back to these goals. You cannot go toward these goals if you're stuck here. You cannot go toward your own goals if somebody else is telling you what they are. You have to take in account that you have your own training and that you have to re-energize yourself. You have to release certain things from the past, because that's your ticket to your success. Without the ticket, you don't get in. With the ticket, everything freaking opens. So this might be that last conversation on some kind of closure of something that is happening. And it's also understanding, look, the floating cat, it kind of like makes sense. So this is kind of higher vibration of the Empress card, which is the Venus, which is kind of like your energy. It's floating energy at this stage. And it's kind of like so appropriate because it's reversed. Just like, I mean, we are going through Venus retrograde. This is in your hopes and fears, and it's saying you need to understand how somebody else feels and what they're going in this moment. You almost like need to subject yourself to whatever they want in order to make things right. Usually that card shows up if there is like some kind of cheating, and you know how cheating is resolved. Some people don't ever want to repair this relationship because it's too hard for them to move on, because the closeness is what affects your sense of safety. But the other people are willing to repair, understanding maybe it was just the sex or whatnot. But it can only be repaired with complete transparency, with the person understanding the damage that has been made and be willing to correct it, be willing to go to these steps that are going to be peaceful and hopeful and going in this new direction. So this is all heading to Ten of Earth, and it's, as I said, this big promise of this big stability, and it's somebody that you move to be the person who can be not only a lover and soulmate, but also a provider, with somebody who you can have stability. You guys, I mean, like, you are connecting to number 2, right? Your card is 11, and 1 and 1 is 2, and then you have a 2 over here, then you have a 2 over here, and look at these big promises of releasing this past and getting this beautiful future is here. You need to get out of your own way. You need to do something, whatever this is, guys, for you. It is something that you messed up big times, but you got away with this, and it's coming back. It is really coming back to be corrected. So it's going to be very important. And the card that I got for you, interestingly enough, is truth. Speak your own truth and tell the truth and demand the truth. It's going to be very, very important this month. Wow, Libra, that was something. So guys, if this resonated, if you got any messages resonated, it was because it was meant for you. Please subscribe if you haven't already. If you want a reading with me for everything to resonate, contact me at gettarot.ca. And any questions that you have my email in the description. So you know that I love you, and until later, I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful month.